Hello, this is Leslie Fightmaster, and today is yoga for beginners or gentle yoga. So beginning lying down on our backs in just a Shavasana position. You can let your feet flap open, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, and let's begin to come into your breath practice. So breathing in and out through the nose. And try and keep your inhales and your exhales equal in length. There's a slight constriction in the back of your throat as you breathe, and that's the Ujjayi pranayama. So the easiest way to practice it is inhale through the nose, exhale out your mouth like you're fogging a mirror. And again, inhale through the nose, exhale like you're fogging the mirror, but close your mouth halfway through. And that starts to allow you to feel that restriction in the back of your throat as you breathe. The breath is really the most important part of our practice. So try and keep the breath steady as you move from pose to pose. On your next inhale, draw your right knee into your chest. And then start to activate the left leg, pointing the left toes up to the ceiling. And just hold the right knee in for a moment or two, but make sure that you're not creating any tension in the shoulders. Now, holding your right shin with your right hand, begin to make some circles, like you are drawing on the ceiling with your knee. And circle one way, and then reverse it, just to get some movement in the hip joint. And then inhale, extend the leg up toward the ceiling. Hold on behind your calf. And start to point and flex your foot, moving the ankle joint. And if you can't reach your calf, of course, you can hold on behind the thigh. Anywhere really on the leg is fine. Release the right leg and draw your left knee into your chest as you extend the right leg all the way out. So keeping the left knee drawn in for a breath or two. Make sure, again, no tension in the shoulders as you pull the leg in and hold it there. And then holding the left shin with the left hand, begin to make circles in one direction. Again, moving through the whole hip socket. And then reverse your circles. Keeping your breath nice and steady. On your inhale, extend the leg up toward the ceiling and hold on again behind the thigh or down by the calf. And begin to make some movements in the ankle. So circling the ankle one way and circle it the other way. And then we'll release the left leg back onto the floor. And bend both knees. Take soles of feet to the floor. Walk your feet hips width apart and bring your heels right under the knees, arms by your sides. Draw your belly in and then inhale, lift your hips up off the floor and the low back, maybe the mid back, maybe not. And then exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. And again, inhale, press down through the heels, lift up as comfortably as possible. Don't need to go any higher than what's comfortable. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift up. Reach your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Keep your chin away from your chest. Exhale, lower back down one vertebra at a time. And one more inhale, lifting up. Spiral your thighs in toward each other like you're holding a block between the thighs. Exhale, lower back down. Now we're going to add the arms. So as you inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Palms face each other as you lift the hips and come into your bridge pose. And then exhale, bring the arms back down as you lower one vertebra at a time. Keeping your low belly lifted in and up, at least slightly. Again, inhale, lift up. Reach the arms overhead. Tailbone reaches to the backs of the knees. Exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. And again, keep the belly lifted as you inhale. Lift up, palms facing each other. So pinky fingers are facing the ceiling or the sky. Exhale and lower. Last one, inhale to lift up and lengthen and see how long you can get through your spine. And as you exhale, like your spine is on a piece of clay, one vertebra at a time, let it lower. And then hug the knees in and rock a little bit side to side. Roll to your right side. Press your left hand into the floor. Press up slowly, letting your head come up last. And then we'll come up and make our way onto the hands and knees. If you have any sensitivity in your knees, just put a blanket underneath the knees. Spread the fingers wide. Wrists under shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Inhale, extend the right leg back behind you. Point your toes straight down to the floor. So as you lift your right leg, lift it from the inner thigh and let your outer right hip drop down as you squeeze your left hip in toward the midline. There's always a tendency to overarch the back here. And release the leg. And now the left leg back. So again, point the toes straight down. Pull your belly in and up. Drop the outer left hip down as you spin the inner left thigh up toward the ceiling and squeeze the right hip in toward the midline. And then releasing. And then inhale, extend your right leg back again. And so reach through the heel. Now this time extend your left arm forward and balance. Now there's even more of a tendency for the low back to overarch. So pull your belly in strongly, pull your ribs in. And release it. And now the left side, left leg back. Point the toes straight down. Reach your right arm forward and balance. Stretch away the arm and the leg. Draw the ribs and belly in. Let the outer left hip drop down. Squeeze the right hip. And back to center. And make your way into Balasana, child's pose. So extend your arms forward. And then make your way back onto your hands and knees. Inhale. Step your right foot all the way up by your right hand. Now, if you can't reach the floor, you can hold onto your ankle, or if you happen to have blocks, yoga blocks, you can put them on either side of your right foot. Try and get your knee right above the ankle, and pull your right hip back as you squeeze the left hip in towards center, bringing the heart forward. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the floor, make sure the knee is still over the ankle. And stretch through your left heel. Pull the belly in and up and lengthen through the spine. Release the left knee down, untuck the toes. Keeping the left hand down, reach the right arm up for a nice twist. Keep pulling again the right hip back. Draw the belly in, widen the collarbones. Release your right hand and make your way back into table. On your next inhale, step the left foot forward. Sinking the hips, drawing the belly in. Keep pulling the left hip back. So again, you can hold onto your ankle if it's hard to reach the floor. If you even have books or anything, cans of soup, you could put those on either side of the foot. Draw the belly in and up, pull the shoulders back and down as you breathe here. Keep squeezing the right hip in towards center. Tuck the back toes the last couple of breaths. We'll lift the back knee off the floor is optional. You can always leave it down if it's a bit much. Keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears and make sure the knee and ankle are still lined up. Set the right knee back down. Keep the right fingertips down. Lift your left arm up and twist. So the twisting is above the waist, so we keep the hips level and then twist above the belly button. Make your way back into table. And then set your hips back toward the heels for child's pose. You let your head rest on the mat, or you can make a little pillow with your hands and rest your head on your hands. And then extend the arms forward, back into table again. Right foot forward, right knee over the ankle. Keep pressing into the right heel, and then reach forward with your arms in line with your ears. Spin your triceps down so the pinky fingers face the floor, the biceps spin up toward the ceiling. Draw your belly and your ribs in, and just pause here, and then inhale back out of the pose, come all the way up. Try and drop your tailbone down, lift your belly in and up as you sink the hips any amount. Last couple breaths optional. Tuck the toes, lift off the floor, drop the tailbone down. Releasing, and then make your way back into table. Over the left side, step the left foot forward. Sink your hips forward, making sure the knee and ankle are still lined up. Arms in line with the ears. Good. Spinning the triceps in toward the face, so wrapping the outer arm down toward the floor, biceps spinning up toward the ceiling, and lengthen out through straight arms. Come on up, back out of the pose, drop the tailbone down, lift the belly up as you sink your hips. Left hip pulling back any amount, send the right hip forward. Last couple breaths if you like. Tuck the toes under, lift up, keep squeezing outer hips and inner thighs, and then hands to the mat. Take your right knee down, take the left knee back, child's pose. Again, take a couple breaths in child's pose, come back to your steady breathing so that your inhales and your exhales are equal in length. Come back up onto the knees. This time we're going to spin the inner elbow toward the front of the room, wherever you are, and the tricep spins back. Hold that for as long as you can as you tuck your toes and lift yourself into down dog with bent knees, and then still wrapping the triceps back toward the wall behind you and the biceps spinning toward the front. This gives you nice external rotation of the arm and the shoulder socket. Spread your fingers wide, make sure the arms are shoulders distance, and start to bicycle your legs in down dog, making sure your feet are hips distance apart. Come way up onto your toes, and then reach the heels down toward the floor. Keep the low belly pulled in, keep the ribs pulled in. And just gaze between your feet so the ears are right in line with your arms. Steady breathing. On your inhale, ripple the spine forward in a plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Pull the belly in and up. Reach the backs of the knees up toward the sky. Exhale, lift the hips, stretch back, down dog. Usually you don't need to change the hands and feet, maybe just a little bit. And then we'll take the knees down for a little break in child's pose. So again, coming back to a steady breath practice, and anytime you want to take a break, you just come on to child's pose and rest. It's always your option, always your choice. And then we'll extend the arms forward again. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. And start to stretch back into the down dog again. And try and see if you can feel that spinning the outer upper arms of triceps back and the biceps forward. Look to the hands, bend the knees. Step your feet up to your hands. Inhale, make a flat back. Bring your hands up to your shins. Pull your shoulders down. Exhale, fold forward. Shift the hips over the heels. You can bend the knees if you need to. And then as you inhale, root down through the feet and reach the arms out, around, and up. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Draw the ribs in. Reach the tailbone down. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Standing in Tadasana for a moment. Press down through the base of the big toes, base of the little toes. Press through your inner and outer heel. As you lift through your inner arches, press your outer ankles in and up. Firm your leg muscles, thighs press back, tailbone lengthens down. Keep your belly lifted and shoulder blades back and down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Spin the shoulder blades in toward spin the outer of arms, the triceps in toward each other. Exhale. Bring the arms back down. Keep lifting your chest. Inhale. Circle the arms out, around, and up. So pinky fingers face the front as you're wrapping your tricep forward. Exhale. Take the arms back down by your sides. Inhale again. Sweep the arms out, around, and up. Good. A little soften in the shoulders. Now, make sure as you lift the arms up that your rib cage isn't popping out and your back's not arching. So just double checking with that. Exhale, hinge from your hips for a forward fold. Let your head just hang down. On your inhale, look up and lengthen your spine. Bring your hands to your shins. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms. Step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Lift the backs of the knees up toward the ceiling. Then drop the knees down, shift forward about an inch. Keep the belly lifted as you lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes, press all your toes down. Inhale, little baby cobra pose, shoulders away from the ears, heart forward. And then back to the knees, tuck the toes under, lift your hips up and back. Keep pressing your thighs back as you firm the legs. If you need to bend the knees here, that's fine too. Look to the hands, bend the knees, stepping the feet all the way up. On your inhale, look up, lengthen hands to shins, heart forward. Exhale, folding in, hips over heels. And inhale, root through the feet and rise all the way up. Circle the arms, reach up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And I think one more time. Inhale, reach the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, hips go back as you go forward. Lower down, let your head just hang. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Hands to shins, heart forward, shoulders down. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your palms. Step back into plank pose. Top of a push-up. Then we'll take the knees down to the mat. Shift forward about an inch, keep the belly lifted, lower down. Try to touch down everything in one piece. Untuck the toes, inhale for cobra. Press even your baby pinky toes down so your inner thighs spin up toward the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, come back to them. Press up and back, down dog. And again, anytime you want to take a break, please feel free to take the knees down and rest. Coming back to the steady breath. Look to the hands, bend the knees, and step the feet all the way up. Inhale, come to flat back. Exhale, folding forward, rock the hips over the heels. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up. Draw the tailbone down, lift the belly up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now take a quarter turn to your right, step your feet out nice and wide. And turn the right leg all the way out and your left toes in slightly for triangle pose. Bring your arms to a T. Shift your hips back. So really make a shift in the hips. Then begin to lean over your front thigh. Come as far forward as you can. Take your right hand down to the shin or maybe the foot. Reach up through the left arm. Shoulders are in line with each other. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Reach the crown of the head, stretching one direction, the tailbone stretching the opposite way, so you get nice and long through the spine. Look down at your front foot. Inhale, like someone's pulling you up from the top arm, come up. One more time, we'll shift the hips. Reach out as far as you can. Keep the belly lifting. Take the right hand down to the shin or foot. Reach up through the left arm. And this time, inhale, left arm forward. Spin the tricep down toward your face. Exhale, release the top arm, and now bring it to your low back. So you can keep it resting at the low back. If you can reach around, hold the right thigh, then take it. Either way, roll your top shoulder back and widen through your collarbones. Look down at the front foot. And inhale, like someone's giving you a little help up, come all the way up. Take the feet to parallel, we'll go to the other side, left leg out, back toes in slightly. Your front heel should line up with the back arch. Shift your hips back as you lean forward. When you can't come anymore, take your left hand to the foot or shin. Reach up through the right arm. Shoulders are in line. Shoulder blades are softening away from the ears, but broaden through the collarbones and lengthen your spine as much as you can. The legs are firm, but make sure the front knee doesn't lock. Inhale, come all the way back up. And one more time, shift your hips back. Lean, lean, lean forward. Get as long as you can, especially on the bottom side of your torso. Look up toward the hand if it's okay on your neck. Reach your right arm forward. Inhale. As you exhale, release your right arm toward the front and then take it to your low back and roll the shoulder open. You can reach around, hold the left thigh, grab it, otherwise keep it on the low back. Keep rolling the shoulder back to widen the collarbone, stretch out the shoulder. One more long breath. Keep pressing into the base of the big toe of the left foot. Look down. Inhale, make your way all the way back. Feet to parallel, toes point in slightly toward each other, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, open your chest, look up just a bit. Exhale, hinge from the hips to come forward. Take your fingertips to the floor. Then inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Keep your length like you were going to touch your forehead down. The very last moment, reach the crown of the head toward the floor. Of course, it never matters how deep you get into a pose. It just matters that you feel a stretch. Inhale. Halfway up, pull your belly in. Exhale, hands to hips. Come up with a nice flat back as you inhale. And then we'll turn the right leg all the way out again, bringing the left toes in slightly. As you exhale, bend the front knee for warrior two. Make sure your knee stacks right over your ankle. Reach out through the arms. Keep weight through the back leg, especially through the outer edge of your back foot. Inhale, straighten the leg. Take your feet back to parallel. We'll go to the other side. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle. So left knee in line with the ankle. The knee is right over the second toe. Press your back thigh just straight back. Slight lift of the inner thigh. Inhale, we'll straighten the leg, feet to parallel. And then we'll heel toe, feet together. Inhale the arms up with the feet about, hips width apart as you exhale. Taking your right hand down, reach your left arm in line with your ear and shift your hips to the right. Get a nice stretch through the side. Inhale, arms reach, spin the triceps in toward each other, and exhale, go the other way. It's a nice lateral stretch, really nice for the spine to get moved in all directions. And an inhale, coming back to center, and reaching up, and exhale, the hands back down. Step to the front of your mats. Come back to Tadasana, and hands to heart center. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Try to shift your weight back toward the heels and pull your belly in as you drop the tailbone down. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, the arms down. Inhale again, bend the knees, drop the hips, come back to chair pose, reach up, lengthen the tailbone down. Now we're going to shift the weight to the right, pick up the left foot, lean forward, and step it back to come into high lunge. And bend your back knee now, tilt your pelvis forward a little bit, and then straighten the back leg as you keep dropping your tailbone down. Reach up through the arms, arrow straight arms, and lengthen through the torso. Steady breathing, and then we'll inhale. Bring the back leg forward, lift it up, balance a moment, bending through the left knee, and then back to Samasthiti. Inhale again, bend your knees, drop your hips, come to chair pose, reach up, shift the weight over toward the left foot, picking up the right side. And then as you're ready, start to lean forward, stretch the leg back, and set it down as slowly as you can. Drop the back knee, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the belly, and then stretch through the back leg as you reach up through the arms, reach up through the torso. Let the shoulder blades soften away from your chest or away from your ears. And then looking forward, we're going to pick up the back leg and just balance for a moment. Use your belly muscles here and come back to Samasthiti, back to steady balancing. Take your feet hips width apart, hands on hips. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hinge from the hips to come forward. So take your opposite elbows and hang in ragdoll pose, rocking gently from side to side. A little bend in the knees here. If you have any discomfort in your low back, is okay. And then let your arms hang down, lightly nod the head yes, shake your head no. Take a little bend in the knees, bring your hands to hips, come up with a nice flat back. Inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, folding in. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank. And then to take the knees down, shift forward with the shoulders lower all the way down again, trying to have everything touch down at once. Bring your arms by your sides, feet hips distance apart. Press all your toes down again, even little pinky toes. Inhale, peel the chest up, lift the shoulder head, squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other, and then add your legs, lifting the inner thighs up toward the ceiling. Keep the low belly lifted. Make sure that you're not bringing your head back so the back of the neck is long. And then come on down and rest a moment. Take one ear down. You can make a little pillow with your hands. So again, keep your low belly lifted. And do this like once again, really good for strengthening the back. Inhale, peel your chest up, lift your shoulder heads back, reach your fingertips back. Instead of looking up though, look right down at your mat. Reach the crown of the head forward, lift through the inner thighs, and stretch out through the legs as you breathe here. And then release. Take the other ear down to rest. Bring the head back to center. Slide your hands by your rib cage. Come up onto your knees and stretch into child's pose. Just taking a few long breaths in child's pose. And come up onto your knees, shift your hips off to the right, and extend your legs out in front of you. Scoot forward on your mat so you have room to lie down. Bend your knees, feet hips width apart. We're coming back into bridge pose. This time we'll hold. So lifting up, and roll the shoulders under if you can, and clasp your hands. Keep your chin away from your chest. Reach your tailbone toward the backs of your knees. Spiral your thighs in toward each other like you're squeezing a block gently between the thighs. And exhale, begin to lower down slowly, and then just take the soles of your feet together and let your knees open up. If that's too intense, you can instead let your knees drop in toward each other. Bring the legs back up, feet hips width apart, outer edges of the feet parallel. Don't let your toes turn out. Press up again into bridge. Roll the shoulders under, clasp your hands with the other pinky on the top or on the bottom, just do a different clasp, and lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Now the outer hips are pinning in towards center, but don't squeeze your whole glutes, not the whole buns. Never want to really squeeze the buns tightly. Lower back down, and then we'll hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side, giving the low back a massage. As you inhale, we're going to lift the legs just right up to the ceiling. Lengthen them out as much as you can. And we're just going to hold here for a few breaths, keeping the belly lifted. It's a little core work that you can do. If it hurts your low back at all, you can put your hands right under the hips. As you exhale, we're going to bring the right leg down almost to the ground. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, left leg down. Lightly press the low back into the floor as you move through the legs. If it hurts your back though, hands under the hips. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, reach the left leg, extend it down. And inhale, bring it back up. Now both legs down just a little bit. Inhale, bring it back up. And then hug your knees in. And then we'll roll up to seated. If it seems like it's not so easy to roll, just roll off to one side and press up. But it is kind of fun to rock up and down the spine if it feels okay for your back. Extend the legs out in front of you and sit up nice and tall. Pull your toes back, hands next to the hips. Widen your collarbones and draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. Bend your right knee, right sole of the foot to inner left thigh. Inhale, the arms reach. Exhale, lean over the left leg and reach for whatever you can grab. Then inhale to lengthen again and exhale to extend. So if you can't reach the foot, doesn't matter, hold your shin. You can even take a towel, or if you have a yoga strap, put that around the foot to give you a little extra length. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, release. Bring the right leg up. Sole of the foot on the floor, right arm behind you. Inhale, reach up through the left arm. Exhale, take it across for a twist. So now as you inhale, sit up tall, and as you exhale, roll your right shoulder open and widen through the collarbones, looking across to try to look over the right shoulder. Pull your left toes back to keep the left legs nice and active. Inhale, bring the head to center. Exhale to unwind. Straighten out your right leg. Bring your left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turn toward the straight leg. Hinge from the hips to come forward. If you can't reach the foot, just hold the ankle. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to extend. So even here, draw your low belly in and pull your right toes back to keep the right leg active. There's going to be some rounding in the back, but we don't want to maximize it. So the gaze is more toward the foot instead of dropping the head down toward the knee. Inhale, lifting the head up. Exhale to release the foot. Bring your left leg up, sole the foot onto the floor, left hand behind the back. Inhale, right arm up. As you exhale, take it across to twist. And again, inhale, lengthen up really tall. As you exhale, roll the left shoulder open, pressing into the knee and turning from above the waist. So everything from the belly button up is twisting. The hips, the pelvis are stable. And twisting is just wonderful for the spine. Bring your head back to center and unwind. And just roll yourself down to the floor. Grab the pinky toe sides of your feet and we'll come into happy baby pose. A little bit of a hip opener, lengthening the tailbone toward the floor. And then if it feels good, rock a little side to side. Hug your knees in. Bring your arms to a T. Let your knees go off to the left as you turn to look over your right shoulder. Take a couple long breaths in your twist. Inhale, knees to center. A little hug. Exhale, take the knees off to the right as you turn to look over the left shoulder. If it bothers your neck to turn and look, then don't. You can keep your back of the head on the floor, keeping the gaze straight up toward the ceiling. Inhale the knees to center. Give your knees a hug. Reach your tailbone down toward the floor. And as you exhale, extend your legs out. And just let your feet flop open, palms face up. And draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears. And just let everything sink right into the floor. If you have any discomfort in your low back, bend your knees and take your feet to the floor. Otherwise, just going to stay here for a couple of minutes and rest in Shavasana. So if you can, just close your eyes and rest. And Shavasana is actually a very important part of our practice, so try not to skip it if you can. While you're here resting for a few moments more, I have a quote from Amma. She's a wonderful spiritual teacher. The sun shines down and its image reflects in 1,000 different pots filled with water. The reflections are many, but they are each reflecting the same sun. Similarly, when we come to know who we are, we will see ourselves in all people. Remembering here, as you're taking your Shavasana, the connection that we have with all beings everywhere. Start to begin to take a couple of longer breaths as you make some movements through your fingers, your toes, your hands, your feet. Take your arms overhead for a nice long stretch. And then draw your knees into your chest. Roll off to your right side, pressing the left hand into the floor. Let's pause here for a moment on your side. And as you come up, you'll press the left hand into the floor so that your head comes up last. And just take a comfortable seated position. I'm taking cross-legged. If that's not comfortable, pick another. Let's bring our hands together, hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. I honor you for your practice today. Namaste. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you next time. Please tell a friend. Please subscribe.
And if you like, upward facing dog pose. So thighs and knees are off the floor if you're taking up dog, and then lift the hips, downward dog. If upward facing dog doesn't feel right, stick with the low cobra pose. It's a wonderful pose to give you strength in the back.